President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi held a meeting with the Minister of Justice, Councillor Omar Marwan. Presidential spokesman Ahmed Fahmy said that during the meeting, President al-Sisi was briefed on the measures of upgrading the litigation system nationwide through the technical modernization, in addition to training programs to raise the human cadres qualification. In this context, the President instructed to boost the efforts to achieve a qualitative improvement in the judicial system and to upgrade the installations of courts across the nation, as well as to speed up the litigation procedures to achieve comprehensive justice. Also on Thursday, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi held another meeting with the chairman of the board of directors of the Arab Authority for Industrialization, Mukhtar Abdul Latif. Presidential spokesman Ahmed Fahmy said that the meeting tackled the authority's activities and the plans in various civil and military domains. In this regard, President al-Sisi was briefed on the development strategy of the authority on increasing the manufacturing and technological capabilities of its factors. He also reviewed upgrading the process of the production lines in accordance with the latest standards, as well as enhancing the cooperation with the local and the foreign private sector companies. Prime Minister Mustafa Madhouli inspected the development works at the St. Catherine International Airport. Madhouli also inspected the new residential area of Zaytuna in St. Catherine, visited the Taba city, and inspected a number of projects. The details follow.
Prime Minister Mustafa Madhouli inspected on Thursday development work at St. Catherine International Airport. During his tour, Madhouli stressed the importance of developing the airport in conjunction with the Great Transfiguration Site project over the land of peace to accommodate expected air traffic and future expansion of the city as a global tourist and religious destination. The Premier listened to an explanation of development projects taking place at the airport and toured the airport's components and development sectors. Construction work included passenger buildings with a capacity of 600 passengers per hour on an area of 15,000 square meters, including travel and arrival halls. The airport also includes international and local halls, VIP halls, control towers with a height of 32 meters, housing for employees, as well as 32 service facilities, besides water, sanitation, irrigation, and fire networks. Prime Minister Madhouli also inspected the new residential area of Zaytuna in St. Catherine on Thursday. During the tour, he listed to detail explanations by the Minister of Housing, Utilities and Urban Communities, Hassan Al-Qazzar, who indicated the project is based on adding housing units and implementing services to provide an integrated residential community about 3 kilometers outside the city to accommodate population increase and the expected tourist influx to the city. Project witnessed completion of 21 residential complexes with a total of 546 housing units, with areas ranging from 100 square meters to 230, with integrated services including a school, a mosque, a church, and commercial stores. On the other hand, the Prime Minister arrived in Taba City to also inspect a number of projects. The Premier inspected Taba International Airport and met tribal leader of Ahayawat tribe, Sheikh Salema Masmanaka Babay. The tribal leader welcomed the Prime Minister, expressing the people's appreciation of the state's efforts in developing Sinai. Madhouli also stressed that this comes upon President al-Sisi's directives to focus on service and development projects.
On the sidelines of the high-level segment of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry co-chaired with the High Representative for the Foreign Affairs and Security Policy of the European Union, Josep Borrell, the 13th ministerial meeting of the Global Counter-Terrorism Forum to exchange the experiences in the field of countering terrorism and extremism. In his speech, Minister Shoukry noted that the people in several countries are severely suffering due to the danger of tourism or terrorism and its repercussions. The top diplomat stressed the necessity of concerted global efforts to confront the terrorist risks and eradicate them with evolving forms and practices of the terrorist organizations. Foreign Minister Samah Shukri met with the NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg on the sidelines of the UNGA meetings in New York. Spokesman of the Foreign Ministry Ambassador Ahmed Abu Zaid said that the meeting tackled a number of international and regional issues of mutual concern. The meeting also tackled the means of enhancing partnership and cooperation programs between the two sides. The foreign minister stressed during the meeting the Egyptian constant abiding by the regional security, reviewing the country's efforts in fighting terrorism and the illegal migration. For his part, NATO Secretary General pointed out the Egyptian vital role in maintaining peace and security in the Middle East region. Foreign Minister Samah Shukri participated in a special meeting hosted by the UN General Secretary on financing the climate loss and damage. Shukri delivered a speech as president of the 27th session of the United Nations Climate Conference, in which he commended the commitment to supporting the loss and damage agenda behind reaching a historic agreement during the COP27 to establish a loss and damage fund for the vulnerable countries. In this regard, the top diplomat warned that the floods in Pakistan last year, the Libyan cyclone, the wildfires in the Mediterranean, and the droughts in the Sahel and the Horn of Africa reflect an increase in the frequency and the magnitude of natural disasters, their impacts and damages. The Interior Ministry continued the social role in supporting citizens in the most needy areas. In this context, and under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the 24th phase of We Are All One initiative continued distributing the food boxes and the school supplies on the citizens in the most needy areas in different governorates. We Are All One initiative aims at providing various food and non-food commodities to the citizens at lower prices. The initiative has hundreds of branches, including key super and hypermarkets nationwide, as well as the Interior Ministry's outlets. Amen. Minister of International Cooperation Rania Al-Mashat participated in a high-level session for Glasgow Alliance in cooperation with the International Monetary Fund, the IMF and the World Bank. The session comes on the sidelines of the 78th round of the UN meetings on mobilizing finance for developing countries, attended by the chairman of the IMF and the director of the World Bank, as well as the president of the upcoming climate summit, COP28. During the session, the minister called on international financing institutions to follow an inclusive system to attract more investments for the emerging and the developing countries. The Egyptian stock market indices collectively soared, being bolstered by the purchasing operations by the Arab and the foreign investors. The main EGX 30 index soared 1.43%. The small and medium EGX 70 index added 0.76%. The more expanded EGX 100 index added 0.91%. The overall transactions and dealings within the session reached £1.99 billion.